I'm currently in Nashville, Tennessee, working out in my friend's extremely cold home gym. And I just wanted to respond to something that I thought was interesting because I've seen it on both the videos that I made in Indonesia and Southeast Asia and the videos that I and some other people have posted in the USA. And that is when people post about car-free transit or getting around without a car, a lot of people will say things like, we don't walk, we ride, or yeah, we don't really walk places. Like in my home state of Texas, a lot of people are like, yeah, we don't walk. And the reason I think this is interesting is that it shows that there is a common refrain between both countries, between any kind of country that doesn't necessarily have the norm of using transit, or they don't have really good transit, or whatever the explanation is, they don't use transit. So I think that this is interesting because it just goes to show you that it's kind of a common psychological defense. And it's sort of like somebody who has never eaten Italian food or has only eaten Chef Boyardee telling you they don't like Italian food, right? Most people who have grown up in a state like my home state of Texas, they don't know, like they may say, oh, I don't want to get packed into a subway with a bunch of other people like sardines. They don't know even what it's like. They have never, they've never had that option. So how do you know you don't like it? I mean, no offense, maybe you don't like it, but I don't like sitting in traffic for 2 hours to get somewhere in Houston, right? And so I have lived both. I have lived for months in places that have good transit, and I have lived for years and years and years of my life in the car-centric lifestyle of America. And what you don't understand is you don't understand the trade-offs between each one. You have gotten used to a certain mode of transportation. You've gotten used to the need to get inside of a massive motor vehicle that you're responsible for, that you're responsible for parking, that you're responsible for maintaining, that you have to pay the licensing for, that if you want to go out and drink, you have to find a way to get home. You have to park it, you have to find a way to get home, or you have to risk it drunk driving or buzz driving or whatever. Maybe you have not experienced what it's like to be able to go get your groceries and then meet up with a friend and then go to work and then come back home, all without ever having to operate your own motor vehicle. Maybe you haven't had like a disabled or injured family member that needed to have somebody drive them around because there's no way to get to where they needed to go, or no safe way to get, or no convenient way to get where they needed to go without a car. So I think that it's just important to understand when you don't know what the alternative is. And look, I'm pragmatic. I don't think we're going to get rid of cars anytime soon. I think that cars have a place. I mean, there are things like road trips and very, very custom destinations. Like, let's say you're going on a road trip and you have a bunch of hikes that you want to hit, and maybe it doesn't really make sense to take transit there, right? Like, I understand that that is a thing. Or maybe you I don't know, maybe you need to haul something heavy or get an unusually large amount of groceries. Like, maybe you need a car for that. But even in a lot of those cases, I think that you can get by with renting a car or borrowing somebody's car or something like that. Like, you'd be surprised at how far you can get in life without a car. Now, but again, I know we're not going to get rid of cars, but my point is just that you don't understand that we can reduce our car usage by a lot, and that you would benefit. You and your family and people around you would benefit. So that's just something to think about, is there's a whole world out there of not using a car that is available to you. And if you haven't really explored it, if you haven't had the chance to travel somewhere that has that lifestyle available, I recommend you do it. And not just, for fun, like in Italy, like go and eating pasta, like go do that, but also look at the transit. Think about it. Think about, what if we had this system back home? What if I could live like this back in Houston, Texas, or Montgomery, Alabama, or I don't know, Chattanooga, Tennessee, or wherever you live in the United States? Hopefully that makes some sense, but I just think that people really need to understand when they don't understand. They really need to understand when they don't know what the alternative is. So give it some thought. Let me know what you think.